I was in the cinema recently when, for the first time in a good while, I actually had to shush a group of grown adults who decided that all of us had spent our Saturday afternoons only dying to hear their shit riffs about the latest new cinema releases. And that would have been actually unthinkable of me to actually talk to them and do so at one stage. Previously, I'd have just sat there and passive aggressively tutted and huffed, just like, oh, before maybe if they were absolutely the worst of the worst going out and telling staff, but then asking the staff to like give me 5 minutes so it wasn't too obvious that I was the rat. These days I'm in my 30s, I give zero fucks, I'll just say it. I've also got pretty good at gauging how to most efficiently get groups to shut the fuck up depending on what type of group they are. Like, for example, if they're teenagers, you can't really appeal to their sense of decency or goodwill. They are essentially little shits, and don't have any, and will just try to show off or slag you if they can. So it can totally backfire if you get it wrong. Teens only really respond to fear or kind of playing them at their own game. So don't worry, I'm not saying you have to I'm not saying you have to pull a blade on them or anything like that, but my time of work in security taught me about like simulated aggression, where you just like phase the tone and volume kind of two or three levels past what they expect so that they actually get a fright. And since all teens care about is what others think of them, if you can get in something that kind of gets that across and appeals to that side of them, where it's like nobody is laughing at what you're saying, then it's a double win and you'll win that interaction. Lads, shut up. Nobody is here laughing. You're just annoying everyone. So give it over. Say that and boom, quiet teens for the movie. And if they start again, now because you've broken the seal and made it socially acceptable to give out to them, someone else will probably join in with you as well. In this instance, these people weren't teens. They were just kind of 20 somethings who were behaving like teens. The type who every time they're out, like, and you can tell, or if they're watching a movie at home or anything, will just say to themselves, we are so funny. Like, we should all just like apply for Gogglebox or something. We are gas. Like, they're fully certain that everyone there is invested in their shit pants. You don't want to seem angry at these types because they'll take it as aggressive and then they'll use it as an excuse to act victimized. So the tack I went for here was loud enough so that others in the cinema would hear and perhaps look to add to the social pressure of the situation. But the tone is slightly mortified for them to have to talk to adults that way. Guys, we're all here to watch a movie. Could you just cop on and keep it down? If you want to have a catch up, you can just leave. You can just get out of here. In this case, at that occasion, they met me in the middle and they kept talking, but they moved to the back instead. So aside from the passive aggressive times, they shushed each other. I couldn't actually hear any of their shit singers anymore, which was a net win for both of us. And they got to tell themselves that Gogglebox was only dying to invite them on. They just clearly hadn't seen their email yet. I try to go to bigger movies when they're not packed to avoid this, though. The only times I like packed screens are when it's for serious movie lovers in the likes of The Lighthouse, where you're not going to get little dopes like that because everyone there actually cares about the movie and wants to see it. But every time I do have a run in, there's always the rant I have in my head versus how I actually approach it. You know, the rant where you tell others you had, but it didn't actually happen that way at all. And then I thought to myself, you know what? I've got a podcast now and I can address these people directly without having to worry about any passive aggressive recriminations or cheeky teen comebacks. So if I could have that rant aloud to those people, I think if I was to say it to them directly, I'd say this. Remember, please, that not a single fucking person on this planet spends all week working hard or doing whatever it is that they do with themselves and then treats themselves to a few hours in the cinema to enjoy a movie that they've been looking forward to, puts down their cash, spends a small fortune on popcorn and all the rest, especially these days, to hear Derek from Finance do his piss poor stand-up comedy / Gogglebox impression to his other annoying college friends. This is the level of quote unquote comedy at play. It's like if they heard Samuel L. Jackson say, describe what Marcellus Wallace looks like, and they say, Blatant dope is what he looks like. And they always laugh at their own jokes. Do you know why? Because if they didn't make noise, they'd have to listen to the sound of the cold void of silence that meets their sheer, absolute desperation to get attention. Hear that silence from the rest of the theater, Derek? That's the same sound as the lack of love your parents have for you. Now, can you please, fucking please, just let me watch this god-awful movie in peace and get therapy or deal with these weird issues that make you act this way in public rather than torturing us all with your shit jokes. Thanks, pal.